In this video, I'll show you how to open a panel within a model driven app. Now, I have this model driven app, World Airlines Management System, which lists down aircraft models, airlines, and various other tables. Now, say, take for example, if you have a requirement when you say go inside, say any of the records. So, if I go into say Cathay Pacific over here, now what I would like is a panel to be visible or panel to open, which will give me more information about that airlines. Okay, so the panel may be located somewhere here, okay, like a pane over here, right? And then I click on it, and then it will take me to say a specific content area. Now, the content area is basically a website. So, take for example, if I go into say this record, it will take me to say Cathay Pacific's website. Or if I go into say Singapore Airlines over here, it will take me to the Singapore Airlines website. So, if we have that requirement, how do we go ahead and do that? It is simple. First, instead of writing all the JS and all, what we will do, we will first make use of a developer tool. Now, if you do not know how to use a developer tool, what you can do, you can just go into Microsoft Edge browser, click on three dots over here, more tools, and you should be able to see the developer tools. Control Shift I is the shortcut, and this is how your tool will open up. So let me show you. This is this is how the tool will show up. Now you can clear the console. You can view the info, warnings, errors, verbose, all those information over here. Now, apart from that, you can write code over here as well. Now, in order to write a code, first we will just type in uh, xrm. So I'll just say xrm dot panel dot load panel, and this time I will make use of say example my website. So I have this website https colon slash slash gireshipple.com, and I'll press enter. Now, as you see over here, what has happened is, let me close this developer tool. Now it has loaded this panel, and that panel had loaded a website which you have given within that context, right? So if I click over here again, this content disappears. But if I click over here again, I have loaded this website, right? And then from here you can navigate to various content within the website over here. So if I navigate to the other pages, yes, you can go into the uh, uh, pages within the website. So you're operating within this particular context. So this is a website, and this one is your model driven app. So if you have a requirement that if you navigate to a specific record, now we are in the list view, but think about it, like if you go into say this record, say Cathay Pacific over here, and then you want that particular panel to load up, yes, you can go ahead and do that. Now, see what happens. Now, if I just minimize this, see, I'm just minimizing it from here. If I click here, it will completely close the panel. So, close the panel. So, if I click on it, it will open the panel. If I click on it, it will close the panel. If I click on it, it will open the panel. But if I click on this, it is a minimize to hide side panel. So now we have minimized to hide side panel. Now, we don't know what this side panel is, because if you have multiple side panel, we will not come to know what that side panel is all about. So for that, what we can do is, like, let me do one thing. Let me pick up a couple of pages. So let me pick up say AI page, and let me pick up say Power Platform tools. So if I have this two particular like page within the website, and if I want to selectively load this particular page, so I have this artificial intelligence page and then Power Platform tools page. So let me copy this URL, and again go into the developer tools. So we will just press F12 on the keyboard, and this time I will just write xrm dot panel dot load panel, and I will paste the URL, Power Platform Tools URL, and I will give another parameter, and I will call this as say tools, or I'll call it as Power Platform Tools. So let me call this as Power Platform Tools. So this is one item which we have written over here. And then if I press enter, you will see that it should load of that particular tool as well. Now the syntax xrm.panel dot load panel, then you give the website name, and then you specify the value, right? So let me do one thing. Let me go into this website. Let me refresh. Let me do a hard refresh. So I'll do a control F5. And once I do a control F5, all these things will disappear. And let me put it in action again. So this time I will just call it as Power Platform Tools. And now as you see, the title appears. So this is the title which we have specified, Power Platform Tools, from here, and that title has appeared. So let me close this and show it to you in full screen. Now if I minimize this, this will all go away. Now if I minimize just the panel, you will be able to see the panel listed over here, right? This is how you can see the panel. Now what we can do is, let me write some couple of more items. So let me just open the panel, the couple of items which I have written. So I'll just copy this panel item, and let me again do a hard refresh of the screen. Once you do a hard refresh, that all should go away because we are just writing in the context of the developer tool. So let me do a F12 and let me paste the code. Now here xrm.panel.load panel, I'm loading the same website, but I'm just loading it twice. Okay. Now if I press enter, now as you see, it has loaded the first item, Power Platform Tools, over here, right? It hasn't loaded the second object. Now even if you change this website to something else, so let me paste this again and let me think that, oh, this is say maybe cathaypacific.com, and say Cathay. Even if we have say two different website which has been specified, it will just execute the first one and it will load the first panel, and then from here you can navigate. Now if you just want to load say one of the website which is say not my website, you can just type in, you can just refresh it and then click on here, and then yes, this particular website will open up. So if I click over here, and then you should see that website loads up. Now I have used cathaypacific.com, but if that website does not allow that incoming request to be shown within the panel, that will not load up. My website, there is no restriction, it will open up, but you need to actually test and see whether that website loads up or not. And and what you can do is, like, this is completely different from the pane which you like as you see over here, this is a Copilot pane, but this is completely as a panel. So this is opening as a panel over here. Now there is a difference between a pane and a panel. Now the example which I'm showing you is of the panel, and you can access it using xrm.panel object. Now pane, I have covered a couple of videos within my channel which will allow you to open a pane. Now this is Copilot is one of the pane. Now you can open multiple panes. Now here we can just open one of the panel, right, for the particular website, but in case of pane you can open multiple panes, and then multiple panes can have different value listed. Now I can also give you an example of how to load a pane. So I have already made some code over here. So xrm.panes.create pane. So let me open a pane over here. So I'm just copying the code and I will paste over here. Now this is an example of a pane. So this has opened a pane and it has opened a record over here. And I can open multiple panes. Okay, so this pane will talk about one of the record. But if I go into another pane, let me go into say one of the other panes over here. So I'll just copy this code. I can open multiple panes provided I have a unique ID. So as you see, the difference between pane and a panel is, so this is a pane, this is a pane, this is a pane, but this one is a panel. Now panel opens a custom website. If you go over here, it opens a specific panel area. But other than that, these are all like a custom pane, which gets opened within the model driven app. So you can use it for multiple different examples, but the purpose of this demonstration is to just show you what are the possibilities within a model driven app. Thanks for watching.